My name is Publio. I'm gonna sing a couple of songs to prepare our environment for the talk tonight. I hope you find a good place to stay and enjoy this moment. Good Old Man. It's about Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky. Gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on our brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Oh, crystal eyes, color of the sky. Gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on our brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Busy, apostle of the good, receive our prayers and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, apostle of the night, place our pains at the feet of Jesus Christ. Bezerra de Menezes, apostle of the good, receive our prayers and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, apostle of the good, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. Calm me down. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done in the hay. Music lifts his piercing sweet ballet. Nature's law, a constant evil way. Joy and peace, my heart found a way. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, his arms I sway. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done in the hay. Music lifts his piercing sweet ballet. Nature's law, a constant giveaway. In joy, in peace, my heart find its way. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Now, song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that waits, power cold night, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in our Lord. The solution lies in our Lord. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make you small son a good Christian. Make you small son a good Christian. Now vibrate. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part, vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into song. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. And preparing for the beginning of our meeting, I'm going to sing a song called Love in Action. Jesus, here I am, my knees on the floor to say thank you, my Lord, for the lights that come through this door. Your love is the key to change the entire world. Using these chains wisely, live in peace and harmony. Now I understand, helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action. Now I understand, helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all this transformation, we just have to put love in action. Thank you.
Hello, friends. Welcome to our Spiritist Talk. We thank you for joining us and welcome wherever you are. So, before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements with you all. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place if possible. Our meeting will have 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then after the presentation, we'll have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with drinkable water to be magnetized. Our meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook and also every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 Eastern. A new class will be starting in the fall, so more information will be given soon, so stay tuned. Do you know that we offer virtual live gospel at home? So the gospel at home is an effective support for you and your family's spiritual harmony. It's a family meeting to read and to talk about the gospel. And what we can do is we can motivate you and guide you in establishing and maintaining the gospel at home study meetings in your own home. So by posting in the chat, you can request this assistance. Just let us know. You are also welcome to include your name or someone else's names on our prayer list or our list of positive vibrations. The names could be of incarnate or discarnate. The person you indicate in that list will be assisted by good spirits to provide healing energy and strengthen goodwill. Please find the link in our chat. So, the topic of today's meeting will be the authority of the Spiritist Doctrine. This is item 2 from the introduction of the Gospel according to Spiritism, which will be facilitated by our sister Veronica from Winnipeg. As always, everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and they will be addressed at the end of the talk. And now we want to invite tonight's speaker, who will also do our opening prayer. Welcome, Veronica. Oh, you're muted, I think.
Okay. Hello, Anna. Hello, everyone. Listen live and on demand.
Yes, yes. So happy to have you.
Thank
So
you.
I'll see you later.
Yes. Yes. So, my friends, let's get started today with our opening prayer. So, I invite everyone to close your eyes and in a deep breath, feel the life that comes from the air that fills us up in gratitude to God, our our Creator who provides us all our needs, and most importantly, our spiritual needs to fulfill our souls with intention, with hope and love. Thank you, dear Lord, because your breath surrounds us and fill our hearts with the seed of creation. And through the teachings of our Master Jesus, we are able to find with confidence the way, the light, and the truth. We ask the blessings and the support of all the spirits, the higher spirits that come to this meeting to help us to gain enlightenment. May we all open our hearts and our minds to the teachings that we need at this moment to find courage, to find peace and harmony. May also these teachings in light, incarnated and discarnate friends that are with us in this moment. Thank you, Master Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, our friends in the spiritual realm. So be it. Okay, so let me just get ready here. Uh, just need one thing. Go. Now, here, can move this here, and okay. And I'll be sharing my screen. There we go. Here we go. Okay, friends. So today we are going to study the introduction of the gospel according to Spiritism. Last week we just started the study of the gospel from the beginning. So if you are new here in our channel, it is a good opportunity for you to start from the beginning. So just go 1 week before this live, and then you have right the first item of the introduction. And yes, my friends, we studied the introduction in Spiritist books because the introduction usually have very important information explaining what is the objective of the work, right? The book. And that's what the first item was the objective of the gospel according to Spiritism. And today we are going to talk about the second item, is still in the introduction, that talks about the authority of the Spiritist doctrine and how can we test the Spiritist teachings. So authority, right? Authority comes is a word, is an interesting word, right? It has some kind of presumption, right? So ostentation, that's something superior to other teachings. And so are we saying that the Spiritist doctrine is superior to other beliefs, other philosophies? So we will see what Kardec meant by that, right? And why he uses this word. So we start by talking about Spiritist teachings, right? So first question that comes to our mind is, can we trust on what the Spiritists are telling us? So many people around the world hear spirits, right? Listen, hear voices, and sometimes advice. So should we trust in them? And particularly in terms of Spiritism, should we trust in the books that Kardec wrote and other works that came afterwards, after Kardec's work? So for this, in the introduction, Kardec is going to discuss this issue, right? Whether or not we should trust. So he starts by saying, if the Spiritist doctrine, which is the collection of teachings and knowledges that we call Spiritism, if it was purely human concept, it would have as a guarantee only the enlightenment of the one who had conceived it. So Kardec started by saying, if the Spiritist doctrine was created by only one single person, we would be trusting in the intelligence, in the enlightenment of that single person. And here is something very interesting, because sometimes many people outside Spiritism that or people who have not studied Spiritism seriously would believe that Spiritism was invented by Allan Kardec, right? And we will see that that's not actually true. He's actually contesting this, right? He believes that it should not be created by one single person. You will see that Kardec actually did not create Spiritism or the teachings. Next, he also says, if spirits who revealed the doctrine had manifested to only one person or one medium, there would be no guarantee of its origin either, because we all agree that everyone in the world, we are not 100% guarantee no mistakes, right? We all are fallible individuals, right? We are still not perfect. We do wrong things. So believing in one single person can be complicated, right? Can cause issues. So that won't work either. So what was then the strategy in order to make Spiritism teachings actually a collection of teachings that we can trust? So to start, Kardec developed the idea saying that God allowed for the new revelation to come and to reach humankind through the quickest and most authentic way possible. So here, Kardec is trying to say that the new revelation, which we'll learn that is the teachings from the spirits, was a way that God found to quickly and most effective reach people. Why? Because God has entrusted two spirits with the task of the new revelation. And see, here is in the plural, so many spirits. And of course, if they come from God, these are highly evolved spirits. And what they're going to do, they're going to manifest themselves everywhere without giving anyone the exclusive privilege of hearing their word. So by this strategy, we solve the issue of only one single person incarnated receiving a message, and we spread that around the world. And to give an example, if we think about our experience in this existence, I think, when we talk to people, we can, and when you ask, have you ever thought you saw or you heard a spirit or felt the presence of a spirit? So everyone in the world might have some sort of experience. Sometimes they would say supernatural experience. Sometimes they would feel the presence of a beloved one that has passed. So it is a experience that is from human nature. So it's not special or exclusive to someone else. So the spirits themselves are the ones who disseminate the new revelation with the help of several mediums from different locations. So we will learn later, when we study Spiritism, we learn that we are all mediums, because mediums are individuals that are able to communicate with the spiritual world. And all of us, at a certain level, we have some sort of mediumship. But some have a more ostensive, right? A strong inclination to mediumship, so they can see or listen or receive messages in a more clear way. Sometimes we have mediumship expressed as an intuition, right? Our idea, something, some whisper in our ears that is not quite clear. So that's how this new revelation is going to be spread. And the Spirit Manual is going to explain that we as humankind have received many, a few, not many, a few divine revelations. So he's going to explain that so far, the Christian era of humanity has received the revelation in three main aspects. The first one was through Moses, through that brought the justice through the Ten Commandments, and he tried to put some order, right? So he in these teachings. Next, it comes the gospel with Jesus while on earth, where he summarizes the laws as two laws, right? Love God above all, and love your neighbor as yourself. So that's the law, the revelation of love. So we need justice to get some order, to find our place in society. We need love because you learn how to interact with others. And Emmanuel goes further and says that the third revelation is Spiritism. And through its teachings, through the teachings we learn from Spiritism, we we gain a moment in terms of renewed Christianity, where we regain the pure teachings of Jesus, the teachings of love, and we bring with Spiritism bring us the important task of truth. So Spiritism is going to bring the truth. So from these three revelations, we have justice, we have love, and we have truth. And these are all divine laws or divine revelations. So now we are getting even more, apparently even more, using even strong words, right? So Spiritism has authority, Spiritism is the truth. So let's see what we mean by that, right? But if it is the truth, how can we trust, right? And how do we know if that is the truth? So the strength of Spiritism comes from the universality of the teachings. So the teachings are universal. And they are transmitted by the spirits, which is also a main reason of the facts of its fast dissemination. So the spirits are everywhere, and they are able to connect with us and transmit the same information, the same teaching. When we say Spiritism teachings, we are talking about the truths of the spiritual world. So it is a truth that we, as human beings, we have a soul, we are mortal spirit, and after the death of our body, the body we are living in right now, we exist as spirits for eternity. And our objective is to progress to reach perfection. And for that, we need to experience, we need to accept our mistakes, work on reparation, and improve our way, the way how we love others, and the way how we and improve our intelligence as well. So these are the truths, right? So in this truth sometimes is debated, right? In our existence, in our world, which is very materialist. So if that's the truth, can the spirits propagate false ideas? Because the assumption here is that we are learning the teachings from the spiritual world from spirits. So, but could it happen that they are false? They can share like fake news. Is that possible? So, Kardec also um, discussed that point, and we see in his works that he's always bringing the counter argument, right? So he's always bringing the opposition to, in order to develop the idea and explain, right? He kind of dissects the all the issues that people point out and try to explain using reasoning. So can spirits propagate false ideas? Yes, of course. Why? The knowledge of each spirit is proportional to their evolution. So, we as human beings on Earth, we know that we can propagate false ideas. And today it can move even faster, right? With social media, internet, and the Internet of Things around the world, false and true ideas can be spread very quickly. And there is no difference from for spirits, because spirits are simply human humans like us. They just don't have a physical body, right? They are in the spiritual realm, but their intelligence, their knowledge is the same as us, depends on how much we develop. The ordinary spirit has as much knowledge as many of us who incarnated on Earth. And we can agree that we have individuals with different levels of knowledge, because it always depends on the opportunities we have to learn and our experiences. Only the elevated spirits, so those that are highly evolved, are free from earthly ideas and preconceptions. So the truth will be held by these elevated spirits. So these are spirits that had their experience, had the opportunity to learned, and they retain the knowledge. It's like a teacher, right? A teacher study for years in order to learn how to teach others. We cannot bring a kindergarten child to become the teacher. They need to learn in steps gradually. So these are the elevated spirits. So um, Kardec was also very careful in order to test if this these spiritist teachings that he published on his books were actually true, right? Because then the question is, if we have spiritists who can spread false ideas and others who spread true ideas, how can we separate them? And just for when we speak a lot about Allan Kardec, so we know that he did not create anything, but he compiled information that came from spirits through help from different mediums, and he used a method that is very systematic. And that's because he has a background that is very where he learned and he's well prepared. He has skills to actually create this systematic way to study the spirit's messages. So Allan Kardec, he was living in France. He lived in France. He was an educator. He studied with Pestalozzi, which was at that time it was one of the most progressive and in high level educational systems. He was educator in France. He helped developing the education system in France. He worked as a teacher. He was fluent many languages. He also had a degree, a bachelor in science, doctorate in medicine. So he was a very intelligent individual. And he was a member in many scholarly societies, which are scientific societies. Right today, science grows so much that most of the time the scientists are members of one or two societies. But at that time, the sciences were all kind of merging together, starting to separate. Right, and he was authors of science books for education, and he is known as the codifier of the Spiritist teachings. So we never say that Kardec was the creator of Spiritist teachings. Kardec was the codifier. What does that mean? He brought together all the information that was available to him in terms of spiritual communications, the word of the spirits, and he compiled in order to create this handbook, right, or these instructions or these teachings, in order to put these teachings together and kind of organize them. And he did that in a very systematic way, as I said. So he used that to test the teachings of the spirits. So what he did, so through each way, so then, okay, he tested the teachings. So how could he test if the teachings revealed by the spirits are actually authentic or truths? So he started by using reason, right? So using reasoning. And this method how Kardec used is actually a good method for us to use when sometimes we are faced with spiritual communication, or sometimes intuition, or if we hear a voice, or if we see something that is from the invisible world. So the first thing is reasoning. So he's going to say that Kardec analyzed under the light of logical reasoning each revelation of the spirits with no exception. So if we are, so by no exception, it meant that they could say, if a medium says that received a message from a spirit, from the spirit of John the Baptist, he will use reasoning to analyze the message. If a medium approaches him saying that they receive a message from Jesus, he's going to analyze that with reasoning, if that makes sense. So why it makes sense? So if we think about Jesus, for example, um, Jesus' teachings were only love. He was never enticing or stimulating war, conflict, fights, or violence. If we receive a mess, if a person approaches in saying that receive a message from Jesus saying that we should fight in order for his church to survive, do you think that's this makes sense? Is there a reasoning in that? That probably doesn't make sense because it doesn't match with his teachings. So that is the way he was trying to find using reasoning in order to separate what makes sense and what it didn't make sense, right? And he was also interested in universal teachings that apply to everyone. It's not about personal wishes, right? If people at that time would use the communication with the spirits, which we are going to learn during these studies that was to for frivolous questions, right? For things like, oh, am I going to get married? And am I going to get a job? So these are very personal requests, right? He was interested about the teachings. What can we learn from the spirits that can help us to live a better life, to understand what is waiting for us after we die? Okay, so through reason, also, Kardec did not consider the spirits as revealers or prophets, right? But simply as sources. So the spirit, every communication or message from a spirit was considered a source, and as a source, he has to analyze the content, right? And see if it makes sense. So by that, any random or isolated message that has no other match or doesn't make any sense, it was probably put on the side and be analyzed or on the waiting list until he finds more evidence that that message makes sense. So the way how he explained his method for collecting and codifying the Spiritist teachings was that the only true guarantee for Spiritist teachings is the overall agreement. So he only considered a true message if there was an agreement among messages, revelations made spontaneously through a large number of mediums. So people, incarnated individuals, mediums that received the messages that who these mediums are unknown to each other, they don't know each other, and they are located in different places. So these are mediums, people that live in, at that time, they may live in London, France, Spain, Germany, they might be in the United States, and that comes in handy because he could speak many languages. So Kardec, he used to receive letters from people who were studying seriously Spiritism around the world. And he would receive these letters and he would analyze the content, and he would respond to also respond to these messages. And the Spiritist Reviews was a journal where he would many times comment on these communications and make interpretations. He would sometimes also receive letters that people questioning, right? His ideas through or the codification, the Spiritist teachings. So he would use the Spiritist Review also as a way to circulate these ideas and to discuss truths and false statements coming from the spirits. So that's his methodology. So when we see his books, we are going to see that those messages are coming from highly evolved spirits, because many the high evolved spirits, they proceed with extreme wisdom in the revelations. So we know that a message comes from high evolved spirit because their content express wisdom, express a content that can be understood by us at our level of knowledge. So high evolved spirits can only address the great issues of the doctrine, of the knowledge about the spirits, gradually. And by that means that the work done by Kardec in the 1800s is not complete, because we have to gain the knowledge gradually to the degree that our intelligence is capable of understanding truths of a higher order. So we need to examine, if we think about our school, we have a content that we learn in grade 1. We have a different content, then we progress to grade 2, 3, 4, high school, university. We don't shuffle that in an order that is not gradual. So the same is for the high evolved spirits. And when we are at a level of understanding and progress, and when the circumstances are favorable, then the high evolved spirits are going to share new ideas. So we'll see that many of the knowledge we gain in more modern spiritism, for example, when he moved to Brazil, where there was a large progress of the Spiritist teachings, didn't show in Kardec's time, because we had to gain certain knowledge, and even science had to progress in a certain way so that we could develop our intelligence to actually absorb new teachings. So at the beginning, highly evolved spirits did not say everything, and they still have not said everything today. So that means that have still a lot to learn, because we are still not evolved enough in order to understand the whole truth. So may one day, as we progress, may we be able, right, to understand all the mysteries, right, that the divine laws guide us. So then, if we are asked, what is Spiritism then, right? What is this truth? What is this authority? So the Spiritist doctrine, or Spiritism, is a compilation of principles and laws revealed by highly evolved spirits contained in the works codified by Allan Kardec. Okay, so Spiritism is a collection of teachings, of messages, of knowledge, information about the spiritual world, about how we interact with the spiritual world, and not only that, but how our essence as a spirit deals with this material world, right? Why are we here incarnated in this physical body, right? And why are we so different? Why we go through so many different problems, right? Or obstacles in our lives. So then the Spiritist doctrine, which is this collection of laws, and we are talking about laws because these are laws that are immutable. We are all subject to these divine laws. And here is the 5 works from the codification written by Allan Kardec. So the first book was the Spiritist book, which is a question answer in a question answer format, very gradual in terms. It builds up our knowledge about the spirits, how we interact with them, why the spiritual world exists, and why we suffer, things like that. Then we go to the Medium's book, which is a handbook for developing mediumship, to understand how communication with the spirits and us happens. A requirement is a must read for anyone who starts studying and developing mediumship. The Gospel According to Spiritism, which is the book we are studying here in Spiritist Talks. And then after, he also wrote Heaven and Hell, which is going to talk about the predictions and about the future, and some things about apocalypse, for example. In Genesis, the last book would be talking about the origin of the uh, universe, earth, the origin of the spirit, universal fluid. So, what is the energy that we are surrounded? And then, so we can also say that Spiritism, the spirits communicate everywhere, right? So, they communicate to all people, all sects, all parties, and they can also, Spiritism has no nationality, lies outside all creeds, has not been imposed by any class or society, and any person may receive instructions from relatives or friends that have living beyond the grave, right? So we learn from Spiritism that death is a extinction of our physical body, but never a extinction of our soul. So we transition to another way of living, but we are still with our minds, our feelings, our level of progress also goes with us. Um, Another thing I also want to say is that another way to think about Spiritism is about seeing the Spiritism as a third revelation. So in John, Jesus, we are going to see a passage of Jesus saying that Jesus is going to ask God to give us another consoler to be with us forever. And by that, the Spirit Manual in the book Brothers Among Brothers of Other Lands, these are messages received during Chico Xavier and Valdo Vieira travel around the world. So they receive messages from the spirits, and Emmanuel in this case is going to say that as promised, as the promised consoler by Jesus to humanity, Spiritism will, without a doubt, reach all the conscious. So he's saying that Spiritism is the promised consoler because it brings the truth, right? It brings the truth about the spiritual world. And why is that is going to stay with us forever? Because what we learn, we cannot unlearn, right? So once we learn about the spiritual world, that knowledge stays with us forever, right? So, and there's no way we are going to lose that. And by using these communications for different spirits, different mediums, even if one fails, we still have many others that will share these news, right? The new revelation. So Emmanuel continues saying, let's then certify ourselves that in the dissemination of the Spiritist principles, so this is more a message directed to people who want to work with Spiritism, wants to serve studying and helping others in spreading the Spiritist teachings, right? So during the dissemination, we are all battling for goodness to extinct the evil, right? The Spiritist teachings help us to become better people, to create a better world, knowing that nobody will achieve the longest victory against the evil, right? Without the will to learn and the provision of work. So, in order for us to learn the teachings from the spirits, we require studying, and we require working mainly on ourselves, right? So then I already explained this part. So just to finish then, Spiritism as renewed Christianity brings the important task of truth, as Emmanuel explained to us earlier. So, and the idea is that once we learn this truth, this can lead all people to universal fraternity, because the Spiritist teachings do not belong to a special group of people, do not belong to a particular group, a religious group, or a special group that has a special type of knowledge or skill. Is everywhere, is universal, and that can cooperate to us to have a better life, to live in fraternity among ourselves. So that's what I had for today for this study. So hopefully in the next week, we'll continue to study the introduction, where we'll gain a little bit more information about the how the work of the gospel according to Spiritism was made, right? Was created by Kardec. So I think I am done here, and I think we can bring Anna back.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you so much. Really, I think you showed really well how important it is to read the introduction, right? So much information there. So I think you made your original point really well as
Yeah.
you were talking. I was thinking about so many things, like um, even the work that we do in Spiritism, that we do in groups, right? Exactly for the same reason. We are not perfect. And if one person, we can complement each other.
Yeah.
If one is not that strong at that time, we make sure that the work keeps going by having more than one person responsible for that. And I think if people really want to have a visual, like sometimes we love pictures of visuals, they say it's worth 1,000 words. I was also thinking about the movie Kardec, right? And I love the scenes where he asks, what is God? And then he asks so many different mediums, right? And we can see that they were young ones, older ones. They have different types of mediumships. They were close to him, they were far from him, and they all came back with a very similar,
Mm-hmm.
answer. So I think it really portrays like the method, that you talk to us, that, asking the same question. And if people in different parts of the world with different backgrounds, with different experiences, they have that same answer, that
Mm-hmm.
must be a universal truth, right? Like you were saying, if it's a universal truth, it's not going to be just with this group here or that group there. Everybody will have access,
Yes.
to that. So I thought it was really, really great, the discussion. And we have one question. I guess people started thinking, right? And getting excited about all this information. So how can we study more? So, it was mentioned that we should study Spiritism. Can you talk a little bit more about the free online course? Get
Oh, yes,
Spiritism.
absolutely. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yes, so studying is a essential part of Spiritism, because we have so much to learn, right? And in group is always better, because then we can share experiences, we can clarify points that sometimes are not clear. People come with different perspectives and interpretations, so we learn so much more than studying alone. So our online course is a free course. It's going to start in September after Labor Day. We study every Saturday, 4:30, 5:30 East, 4:30 Central Time. And we study Get to Know Spiritism, which is a book based on Spiritist teachings, Kardec mainly, that is going to discuss basic principles of Spiritism. We are going to study God, what is God, and we learn that it's not who is God, it's what is God. So you need to come to the course to understand why the question. We are going to talk about Jesus and how Spiritism sees the figure of Jesus in our world. And we are going to talk about, for example, Allan Kardec work and how did he develop in more detail. Then we have also other areas. We are going to talk about discarnation, obsession, which is the influence of spirits, usually in a negative way in our lives. And we'll learn that we are much more influenced by the spirits than we would think. And so the courses are 2 hours, and we study, and then every semester we study a different book. And at the end of 2 years, we are ready with the basic of Spiritism. We can apply passes, we can work in a spirit center, we can start to develop mediumship in a safe way. And we could say the spirit, we develop mediumship with Jesus, right? Our mediumship development is based on Jesus' teachings of serving one another, right? Loving one another.
Right. And
And
all of that free, right?
it's free. Yeah, it's free. And then we gain it's nice because we are a group, is a small group, and but we all have the same intention, right? We want to learn more. So even the instructors, it's not that we are smarter or more evolved than anyone, but we are there to learn, right? And usually the teacher is the first one to learn,
For
right?
sure. For sure. And, if people are curious, they can go back to some of the recordings a few weeks where actually some of the students, I think from the US, came and, gave their
That's
testimony,
right.
right,
That's right.
about the course. So, but my friend, thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you.
very good as always, very enlightening. And, people should just go ahead and read the book too. But you gave us a lot to think about. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
All right, so we will now move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. So, passes is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy, positive energy. So, in order to receive the best benefits from passes, just follow the audio instructions and remain prayer. So, just think of the words that you read, hearing, and put more energy into them. You may close your eyes just to help with your focus and your mentalizations. So during the passes, remember to have the water that you set aside in the beginning so that that water will absorb the spiritual energy that will um, help you and your family. So you and your family can benefit from the spiritual energies in that water. We will now make a prayer in preparation for the passes, which will be our closing prayer as well. So I invite you all to close your eyes, breathe in and out, and be thankful. Oh Lord, our hearts are full of gratitude for the care that you and the Father have for us and the constant effort to teach us how to be better people, how to better ourselves, how to better the environment. You always, with your teachings, through your gospel, through your messengers of love, the high spirits, you invite us to be better today than we were yesterday, to face the challenges of the days of this earthly existence with courage, with faith, and why not with joy. We ask you, Lord, to protect our families. May your love and your peace be with our family members, with our places in our places of work, in every soul that needs any help. May your peace and your light, Jesus, also shine in all the corners of this earth where there's suffering or violence or need. May all those prayers be answered, not from the merit we might have, but just by the mercy of God that is loving and merciful and loves us so much and is always ready to help us. We ask you to, Lord, that you bless each one of the names in our prayer book. May each one of them feel comforted, feel whole, feel full of hope and strengthening their faith so that they can overcome whatever obstacles they are going through in this moment. We thank you for all the mediums. We thank you for this opportunity here. We thank you for everything that you give us. And we hope to be in your name many, many more times and very soon. And so be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, His warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust Him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Friends, with this sweet vibrations of peace and comfort, we thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conquerors Americas at 8:30 Eastern, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from Spiritism Canada and Spiritist Group Path of Light. Have a good night. May God bless you. See you soon.
Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, mate, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build that bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more. No more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark old place. No more fear, no more fight. Let the sun all gone away shine, shine. Let the sun all gone